Now, the final point I want to make with regard to Islam in this part of the world is that if you look at Islam in Southeast Asia, you will see that the most advanced in terms of modern knowledge today are the Muslims in Southeast Asia. They have newly industrialized countries. They are now identified as part of the newly industrialized countries. Malaysia is now an industrial country. It's a Muslim country that is industrialized. And and it belongs to the ASEAN nations and is considered one of the newly industrialized countries. Indonesia belonged to that league, but the Indonesians could easily slip back, and they are recovering from this recent financial crisis. But they were on the path towards industrialization and were considered by many scholars as newly industrialized countries. So in this case, the Malay and the Indonesian Muslims are ahead of the other Muslims. Now, the Muslims in South Asia have like number of highly modern people, but in the case of the Indian Muslims, they don't control the state. In the case of Pakistan, they control the state to the point that they have a nuclear weapon, which is a modern instrument of self-defense. But the societies have not been transformed into industrial society. So in a case, Pakistan is very much like Russia. You have an almost industrialized country, but it has a large population that is pre-industrial. And this is true of Russia as in the case of Pakistan. Maybe the numbers are more in favor of Russia than Pakistan, but that is the reality. The only instrument of modernity they have is the nuclear weapon. You see, which to some extent include them into the category of modern do-or-die leadership. But when it comes to industrialization, producing industrial gadgets the way Americans do, or British do, or French do, or Japanese do, they haven't reached that level of mass consumption through mass industrialization of the society. Now, in the Arab world, the most industrialized Arab country was Iraq. And of course, the Iraqis have been blown out of existence, likely through our effort, the United States. So, so the Iraqis were the more advanced Arabs in terms of industrialization. They were certainly going the way of Indonesia and Malaysia. And I think the Iraqis, if they did not have a leader like Saddam Hussein, they would have made it in terms of being an industrial country in the Middle East. And maybe the Syrians will catch up and the Egyptians with their population reduced will follow and the others, but it didn't happen. So this is the situation you have in terms of Southeast Asia. So when you look at Southeast Asia, they are in the forefront of industrialization in the Muslim world. But they are also in such capital when it comes to some other areas in terms of Islamic knowledge, because the centers of Islamic knowledge are still in Egypt, Syria, and Iraq in terms of the Middle East. And of course, in terms of the South Asia, you have Pakistan and India, you still have major centers of Islamic learning. And then of course you come to Africa, you have Egypt going all the way to Morocco, and then you have pockets in sub-Saharan Africa, as I described to you.